Hello YouTube and welcome back to another alternate history video, and today I got the 2012 election, and this time I got between Barack Obama, the president, and Republican challenger Newt Gingrich, who was the House Speaker at one point in the 90s and ran for president in 2012. However, as we all know, the nomination went to Mitt Romney. Excuse me. Anyway, like I was saying, in this alternate scenario, I got Newt Gingrich if he did win the nomination in 2012. So, like I said, it says 2012, so the economy was slowly recovering from the recession in 2008. It still wasn't fully back to the best, but I think it was slowly recovering. And, of course, Congress and Obama then passed stimulus and the bailout to bail out the auto industry that got hit hard by the recession. So that kind of helped Obama, like in the Midwest, where he got hit hard, in states like Iowa, Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan, very working-class states. And it helped them a bit there, get favorability due to the auto bailout. And of course that hurt him in more physically conservative states, like especially in the South, but like in the Rust Belt it helped his favorability, bailing out the auto industry and things like that. Of course he also got criticized by people, by like Republicans and even progressives, people to like the left of Obama on economics, people like Sanders and stuff weren't fans of the bailouts, but it had him in pretty good shape with the more establishment wing of the party. But anyway, like I said, I got Newt Gingrich. If he won the nomination, we'll see how he could have done against Obama. So starting out, I believe, of course, the West Coast here is safely going to go Barack Obama. Washington, Oregon, and California. His birth state of Hawaii. His home state of Illinois. New York up here, Vermont. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Washington, D.C., and Maine's 1st District. And I think that's about all safe Obama. And now for some Gingrich states, of course, would be the Mountain West up here, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Montana, I think would be pretty likely. Alaska, Kansas, North Dakota, South Dakota. All of Nebraska, the second would probably be pretty likely. I think it was for Romney. I'm actually going to check there real quick. See what the exact margin was. I think it was pretty likely if I remember correctly. And as you see there, the margin 52 to 45, so I pretty likely stay there for Romney, so I believe it would be the same for Gingrich in that district, and he would win Oklahoma safe, and Texas, of course, which wasn't as competitive as it is now back then. The Deep South here, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and I think his home state of Georgia would have been pretty safe in this scenario where he was from, and then Georgia not being as competitive back then. I think it was pretty likely for Romney, so I think it'd be probably pretty safe for Gingrich, probably about 10 points or a little more. And Tennessee as well, Kentucky, West Virginia. I think Missouri would be a pretty likely state it was for Romney, as well as Indiana. And South Carolina here. And I think I said Newt's home state was Georgia, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's South Carolina. I'm going to have to double check that. So it says there he's actually born in Pennsylvania, but and yes, it was Georgia. Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I was thinking, well, maybe it was South Carolina, but yes, it was Georgia's home state. And I believe South Carolina, like I said, would go for him. And that's about all the safe, I would say, Gingrich states. And now to these other ones, I'm going to start out, I'm going to go ahead and fill out the rest of the northeastern states, New Hampshire, Maine. So, Maine at large, I think was pretty likely to safe for Obama. I'm going to look up the exact margin so I can get a good guess here. And now I believe New Hampshire was pretty likely as well. So I think that would say the same, but I just want to see what the exact margins were before I make my decision. So Maine at large, you see there, was definitely safe. So I believe, of course, it would say that way here. Not much of a change. Maine at large safe for Obama. The 2nd district, however, was relatively likely there, so I think it would stay like that against Newt Gingrich. And New Hampshire, I believe, like I said, was another likely state for Obama. After it was actually pretty safe in 2008, I think it went about like a 10-point margin or so. So let's look at New Hampshire here. So there you see it was 51 to 46, so that was pretty likely there. 5%. It's closer to lean, but I think it's right on likely, so I think it would stay like that because I don't really see Newt having much appeal here, especially with college educated Tennessee. I believe they would definitely favor Obama. Now, incumbents typically do a little worse in New Hampshire, if you notice, over the past number of elections, but because, like I said, I think it was like 10 points or so in 2008, and then it was cut in half to 5 when Romney ran in 2012. So you see incumbents kind of do worse usually in New Hampshire, but I think it would stay likely in this case because, like I said, I don't really see Gingrich having the appeal to win the state because they like the more moderate types, especially on social issues. They do like fiscal conservatives, and I think Gingrich, you could say, was one because especially in 1994 when he was speaker and passing the balanced budget when Clinton was president, but other than that, Newt wouldn't have the right stances on social issues to make the state really competitive, so I think that would be pretty likely for Obama. And Pennsylvania, I think, was about like another 5-point margin or so win for Obama. Like I said, I say that being about the same against Gingrich. I don't really see much changing. As I say there, 51 to 46, about another 5-point margin, so I think that would say the same because I don't really see Newt having blue-collar appeal and appeal in the suburbs. I say that definitely sticking with Obama because of Obama's working class appeal that he had. And same with like Ohio and Virginia. Maybe Ohio could get a little closer because I think Newt is a bit more conservative than Romney on some aspects. But I think New Hampshire, or excuse me, Ohio would probably still be like a lean state for Obama because of the economic recovery, even though it was slow. But like I was talking about earlier, like the auto bill and things like that kind of helped him. So I think that's why he would hold on to Ohio in a lean margin, probably by about the same margin, maybe even a little closer than he won against Romney. And same with Iowa. I see that being pretty likely. I mean, you could even put it lean because Romney's Mormonism kind of affected him in the state because the state is more Protestant. They don't really like Mormons. They're more of the Protestant faith. So I think since Newt is not like a Mormon, I think it would actually resonate better with the evangelicals in the state. So I could actually say Iowa getting a little closer, but I think it would still lean Obama in the end because of his appeal in like Des Moines and the cities and pretty decent in the rural areas. I think it would hold on by probably a 5-point margin or a little less. Minnesota up here I think would be pretty likely. Of course, voted Democrat since 1976. So I don't see much changing there because of Minneapolis being too much for a Republican to win in the state. As I say there, 52 to 44, so it was about safe. So I think it would be likely for Obama against Gingrich. Arizona over here, I think it would be pretty likely it was for Romney. Of course, it didn't become competitive until Trump's runs, but mostly because of his rhetoric, I think. But of course, since Gingrich was more of the establishment type, kind of like Romney, I think he would win that pretty solidly at a likely margin. Wisconsin, Michigan up here, I think would stay in Obama's column. Probably about the same margins he won them, pretty likely, I would guess, because of his working class appeal in the rural areas, especially of Wisconsin and Michigan. And of course, a lot of those counties flipped to Trump 4 years later, but I don't think Gingrich having that working class appeal like Trump had, since Trump was more of a populist. So I say that's saying likely with Obama, and that does put him over the top at 270. And for the rest of the states, I think Nevada over here, I believe, was like a lean to likely margin against Romney. So you see there is 52-45, a 6-point margin. I think that would stay about the same for Obama because of Clark County and Reno, places like that. Of course, the rural areas, Republicans typically could do well in, but it's just these areas like Reno and Clark County where Vegas is that helps Democrats win, so I believe that would stay with Obama in a likely margin. Colorado, I think, was about like a lean margin against Romney, and I think it'd be about the same against Gingrich. Of course, Romney had pretty good appeal in the Denver suburbs, better than somebody like Trump had, but I think it would stay in a lean margin because of Obama's suburban margins. Though, like I said, Romney did pretty well in them too, but since, of course, Colorado was a really trending blue state from 2008 up until now, I think it would stick with Obama. And I think New Mexico would be pretty likely, as I believe it was against Romney, because of the suburbs there and educated. And this just leaves 3 states: Florida, North Carolina, Virginia. I'm going to start out with Virginia. I think it was at least a 3-point margin against Romney for Obama. And since Gingrich is from the south here, Georgia, I think it could definitely make the state competitive even more than it was. It could definitely be closer. And maybe Gingrich could pull out a victory, but I think because of Virginia's trend to the left since this time, I think it would actually stick with Obama in a narrow margin, probably about 1 to 2 points. I could definitely see Gingrich making it closer because having better appeal in the rural areas and, like I said, being from the south here. But I think it would hang on to Obama about 1 to 2 points because of his trend to the left since 2008. And North Carolina here actually was won by Romney, and I think Newt would do the same, especially, like I said, being from Georgia. I think it went in a lean margin because of his rural margins in the state. And now this just leaves the state of Florida, which was a narrow win for Obama. I could possibly see Newt pulling out a bit of an upset here because being from Georgia, like I said, and having a southern appeal. And I could definitely see him improving in the panhandle better than Romney did, which I believe could propel Gingrich to victory, because as you see there is at least by a point or less. So it was definitely close in this state. And if I had to go with my gut, I think Newt would actually narrowly flip Florida. Now, it might still go to Obama in the end, but I just have this gut feeling he would actually flip it in like a tilt margin. Because like I said, it's southern appeal, and I think he'd do better in the panhandle. You could probably get pretty close to Trump margins in the panhandle. I think he would actually flip this state in a rare case, because usually Florida's voted for the incumbent since 1984. Of course, the last time I voted against the incumbent was 1980. But I think in this rare case, Newt would actually flip it because of his southern appeal and doing better in the panhandle. But like I said, I could definitely see it going either way. I think it'd be a toss-up. But anyway, if you agree with this scenario or not, just leave your thoughts and comments below. I thank you for watching. Subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And I'll see you next time.